Okay students, from in the next class what we are going to see is how do we develop or how do we derive this particular wave equation based on the Maxwell's equations. So we have got two Maxwell's equations, del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by dou T. Using those two equations, how do we develop this del square E is equal to mu epsilon dou square E by dou T square. This is the equation we normally going to see in the last class. And in the examination point of view, you can start from this equation as it is the wave equation derived from the antennas and wave propagation using Maxwell's equations. We can start from here in the examination, but for our understanding purpose, I wanted to go with the Maxwell's equations where the discussion is going to become complete. Okay, then next, this is derived for three-dimensional. E is for three-dimensional. We are going to consider a Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian means what? You are going to have x, y, z directions. So when I represent this with a Cartesian coordinate system, I can expand this equation for Ex, Ey as well as Ez combinations, and the wave is propagating along z direction, not along the time axis, not along the time axis, because we are dealing, once the wave is propagated in the free space, we are not dealing with time domain, we are not dealing with the frequency domain, we are dealing with a spatial domain. Therefore we will be having the coordinates x, y, z as a spatial coordinates. Therefore we are representing with the spatial coordinate z by assuming that the wave is propagating along the z direction. So with this we normally going to get the equation. Now basically sound waves are going to be very low frequency signals. Low frequency signals, let us say if at all I want to transmit to a longer distance, what is the path that I am normally going to have? Sound waves are given to microphone, and microphone is going to convert sound waves into electrical signals, and these electrical signals are simply converted into radio waves by a transmitting antenna, and they are transmitted, and the receiving tower is going to receive the signals, and the receiver is normally going to take the signal, receiving antenna is going to take the signal, and that is going to convert, receiving antenna is going to convert EM waves to the electrical signal, and electrical signal is further given to speaker, and speaker is going to produce the sound waves. So this is how normally sound waves are going to get propagated by using a microwave techniques or microwave communication techniques. Then next, finally last topic in this class is going to be waveguide. Now we normally going to use waveguides to transmit the electromagnetic signal, even though we have various transmission lines like coaxial cables, twisted pairs, we are going to prefer the waveguides. Why? Because coaxial cables and twisted pairs are normally going to have so many losses. Why? Because as the frequency increases, the solid dielectric and conductor are going to offer so many losses. To avoid losses, we normally going to go with the waveguides. What is a waveguide? A waveguide is nothing but a hollow metallic tube which is normally used to transmit, which is normally a hollow metallic tube normally used to transmit the electromagnetic signal, is known as basically a waveguide. And basically this hollow metallic tube is going to be of uniform cross section, that is very important for transmitting EM waves by successive reflections from the inner walls of the waveguide. So we normally transmit the wave by successive reflections by inner walls of the waveguide, which is known as a basic definition of a waveguide. So using waveguide, we normally going to transmit effectively the electromagnetic signals. So now what are the basic waveguides we have? We have two types basically waveguides in the syllabus. One is going to be the rectangular waveguide, other one is going to be the circular waveguide. Now to analyze rectangular waveguide, we use a Cartesian coordinate system. To analyze circular waveguide, we normally going to use a cylindrical coordinate system. So there we need to have some understanding of the antennas and wave propagation and some portion of the EMTL, electromagnetic fields and transmission lines. And what are the various features of the waveguide? A waveguide has got so many features, that is basically waveguides. Why we use waveguides? Waveguides are used especially to transmit. They are to carry electromagnetic energy between pieces of equipment or over a longer distances to carry transmitted power to a transmitting antenna and to receive power from receiving antenna to the receiver. That means the waveguide is nothing but a entire setup. The microwave setup is normally going to be done by using waveguides. This setup is normally going to be there at the transmitter side as well as the receiver side. So by having these two at transmitter and receiver side, we normally going to transmit the waves. So to transmit EM waves, we use waveguides at the transmitter as well as at the receiver side. So waveguides, how they are made with? Waveguides are made with copper and aluminum material. So these materials are extruded into large rectangular and circular pipes and other equipped shapes. Now it need not be rectangular and circular shapes. We can have various types of shapes of waveguides can be available based on the application. Okay. Then next, what about how we normally operate a waveguide? And our waveguide is simply operated like a pipe. Now how we operate a pipe? At one end we are going to inject the water, from other end we are normally going to get the water. Similarly here also, at one end of the waveguide we transmit the electromagnetic wave, from other end we are normally going to get the EM wave. Okay, so next one is how the wave is propagated. The wave is normally going to be of electric field or going to be of magnetic field. So how the wave is going to get transmitted? The wave is normally going to get transmitted by bouncing back from one wall to another wall by the process of reflections. Okay, continuously the wave is going to get progressed in the forward direction. So now why we use Maxwell's equations? So the Maxwell's equations are normally used to find out the mode of propagation that you are doing, the mode of configuration that you are using in the waveguide. Now here, in order to determine the EM field configuration within the waveguide, Maxwell's equations should be solved subject to appropriate boundary conditions at the walls of the waveguide. So we are going to solve the Maxwell's equations at the walls of the waveguide by applying some boundary conditions, and after you apply some boundary conditions at the walls of the waveguide, we normally come up with a configuration of the EM waves. So those configurations of the EM waves are called as TE, TM and TEM mode of communications. So such solutions give rise to a number of field configurations such as TE, TE, TM and TEM modes. So each configuration is known as a mode, and the following are the different modes possible in a waveguide system. So next slide, we are normally going to see the various modes of operations. Okay, now as we cannot see EM wave, we cannot see coronavirus, we cannot see EM waves. So we cannot see EM waves, but they are going to be very large frequency waves. More than 3 GHz signals are normally going to be there, very large frequency waves. So that is why we have to understand about the configurations. We have to understand about the configurations of the wave that can be transmitted through a waveguide. So a waveguide can transmit either electric field or a magnetic field. The other field is going to get generated by a transmitting antenna as part of EM wave. So we don't bother about that. So there are various modes of operations. Now what is another advantage of these Maxwell's equations? Maxwell equations are going to provide us physically realizable systems. That means directly when you solve the Maxwell equation, we normally going to get a physically realizable system. That is what one of the advantage of going with the Maxwell's equation. That means wherever we want, whenever we wanted to understand the working of a waveguide or understand the propagation of EM wave, we simply apply the Maxwell's equations over there to get the understanding of the EM waves. So here the EM waves propagated through a waveguide normally going to be in different types of modes. That means we propagate EM wave as a TE wave or as a TM wave. Okay, we don't propagate them as a TEM wave because TEM mode does not exist in the waveguide, because a waveguide can transmit either electric field or magnetic field, so it cannot transmit both at a time. Therefore TEM mode does not exist in the waveguide. Now what is TE? Transverse electric field. As the name indicates, the electric field is transverse to the propagation of the electromagnetic wave. So the electric field is perpendicular to the transverse, means perpendicular. So the electric field is perpendicular to the propagation of the EM wave. So when the electric field is perpendicular to the propagation of the EM wave, how we can normally going to consider that as what about the field strength of the electric field along the propagation of the wave? It's going to be equal to 0. Therefore Ez is taken as equal to 0, whereas Hz is not equal to 0. Why? Because the magnetic fields are not purely transverse. Only if electric field is purely transverse, then the electric field component is not going to be there in the propagation of the wave. It is something like, I think you might have studied about the concept called orthogonality in the signals and systems. So when two signals are orthogonal to each other, what will happen? They don't interfere. Similarly, what happens now here? The electric field is transverse or orthogonal to the propagation of the wave. Therefore, along the propagation of the wave, Ez field is equal to 0. That is what the transverse electric field speaks about. Exactly similarly operation is going to be the transverse magnetic field. That means the magnetic field is going to be transverse to the propagation of the wave. That means along z direction Hz will be equal to 0, whereas Ez is not equal to 0. Now only either TE wave or TM waves are going to exist in the rectangular waveguide, which is very important for us. And last two are going to be transverse electromagnetic wave called a TEM wave, where TEM wave is normally is going to be transverse. That means the electric field as well as magnetic field, both of them are transverse to the direction of propagation of the wave. Therefore, Ez and Hz fields are going to be equal to 0. Then finally, hybrid wave, hybrid mode. In this hybrid mode, Ez and Hz are not equal to 0. It is going to be very complex mode. Okay, we are not going to use these two in the rectangular waveguides. So with this, we stop it here our class. So in the next class, we start deriving the basic equations for the propagation of the wave through a rectangular waveguide, and we start with the equation of the wave by del square E is equal to mu epsilon dou square E by dou t square. So thank you very much.